We live in times when basically everything is disposable and creating something timeless and unique seems impossible, especially when it comes to cars. There is a brand though that might have cracked the code. The LC debuted in 2018, and while its design isn't for everyone, one thing we can't deny is its presence. After being on the market for almost 7 years, it still turns as many heads as it first did when it launched and cannot be mistaken with anything else on the road.
See, Japanese cars usually don't age very well. There are outliers such as the Mazda Cosmo or the Toyota 2000 GT, but there's only a handful of vehicles from the land of cherry blossoms that I can truly call beautiful, and the LC most definitely joins that list. But there is more than just the looks.
Now, the true beauty comes from within, and in the case of the LC500, it comes from under the hood. The 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 produces 491 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, and one of the best V8 soundtracks ever.
There's also a 354 horsepower hybrid variant available that I almost forgot existed, but when you can get one of the best V8s on the market, it's easy to forget about some eco-friendly drivetrains.
The rear-wheel drive platform that the LC is built on isn't unique to this car, but it is reserved to the flagship sedan and 2 other Toyota models, the hydrogen-powered Mirai and JDM-only Crown Sedan.
It features high-strength steel, aluminum, and carbon fiber, and the suspension is a multilink setup front and back, combined with adaptive dampers. As a true GT, the LC has to be a fun-to-drive vehicle, so for better driving dynamics, you can either get a Sport package, which features performance brake pads and a Torsen limited slip differential, or a dynamic handling package which adds carbon fiber roof, variable ratio steering with rear steering, and a speed-activated rear wing for better downforce. The V8 variant is coupled to a 10-speed automatic, and the hybrid gets an ECVT with a 4-speed gearbox attached to it. An unconventional solution, but that's the LC in a nutshell.
Now, before we talk how it all works together and what it's like to drive the LC, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. The cabin of the LC, just like the exterior, is super unique, and the attention to detail is unbelievable for a car in a $100,000 price range.
Yes, 100 grand is a lot, but looking at how well this interior was made, you see a true craftsmanship, and Lexus outdid themselves by creating something that it would put on parallel with cars like an Aston Martin Vantage or a Maserati Gran Turismo.
There's an excellent mix of high-quality materials, everything is fantastic to the touch, and you truly feel like you're in a very special place. And the best thing about it is the cabin feels and looks expensive, but it isn't too much in your eyes.
Also, what's great about this cabin is that everything is laid out intuitively. You get physical controls for climate and things that you want to access easily, such as the camera system, seat controls, or the dimmer. The big update for 2024 was a new infotainment system, and it solved the only problem that I had with prior LCs. Gone is the touchpad, as the new system is touchscreen only, and it's finally usable, not frustrating. Thankfully, the cluster stayed the same with an electromechanical gauge that allows you to move the bezel and display relevant information to you, such as the trip data, turn-by-turn directions, or some performance information. The storage is the only area which will not blow your mind, and that's the case with most GT cars. The door pockets are tiny, the glove box doesn't offer much space, and the center console area will only fit your phone or a drink. The trunk isn't breathtaking either, but you will be able to fit your and your significant other's stuff for a weekend getaway. Just forget about your friends, because not only will they not fit their stuff, they simply are not gonna fit in the backseat due to super limited headroom and legroom. But that's the nature of all GT cars. What really matters though is that there is plenty of room up front and the driving position is fantastic. Nice and low, just like in a true GT. Typically for a Lexus product, the seats are super comfortable, despite not having a ton of adjustments, but it would be nice to see a massage function.
So that was the interior of the LC500. Let's get it on the road now and see how it drives.
Okay, by now you should know that the LC isn't a super high-performance car, but a full-blown luxury GT with a fantastic ride quality and a super well-isolated cabin. That, however, doesn't mean you can't have fun in it, right? No, of course not. While you won't be breaking records, more on that in a second, you can have plenty of fun behind the wheel of the LC. I mean, you mostly just want to hear that V8 and slide the car at corner exits, but hey, everyone has their own definition of fun. First, the 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 is one of my favorite power units on the market and the best sounding stock 8-cylinder you can buy. Both the induction and exhaust noise are out of this world, and revving the motor all the way up to the red line at 7300 RPM is an unforgettable experience. I mean, isn't it beautiful? The power delivery is super smooth and effortless. 471 horses get the LC going, and the engine works great with a 10-speed auto. I did notice a little bit of rough shifts from the transmission when it's cold, but once it gets up to temp, it smooths out and both upshifts and downshifts are pretty quick. Now, the powertrain is the where LC shines, but how about the driving dynamics? Well, that's a different story. Let's talk about two different scenarios, a curvy back road and a closed course. On a back road, the LC feels great. The brakes perform very well, you don't have to make many corrections as the car is stable and predictable, and attacking corners puts a smile on your face. However, if you decide to test the LC's capabilities on a closed course, it will remind you that it's a big 4,400-pound cruiser. There is a good amount of body roll, you experience a lot of understeer, especially in low-speed corners and hairpins, and the fact that the front is very numb doesn't help as the steering provides virtually zero feedback. The factory-mounted Michelin Pilot Sport S5s don't provide as much grip as I expected, even after getting them up to the temperature and adjusting the pressure, and the LC really likes to slide. A lot. Now, this is an extreme case, and probably less than 1% of people would even think of taking the LC to a racetrack or autocross, but us, car enthusiasts, like doing crazy things with cars, and some may treat the LC as their fun vehicle.
When I drove the LC500 for the first time a couple of years ago, I fell in love with it, and it's one of those cars that I never get tired of driving. I mean, it looks like something worth $1 million, has an amazing cabin. Listening to that V8 roar wakes up your senses, and driving it is a pure pleasure, truly making you feel like you're in something special. Something that isn't disposable.
Sadly, looking at the sale numbers, the LC's future isn't looking too bright, and it probably has 2-3 more years before it gets phased out. And that's sad because there isn't any other vehicle for 110, 120 grand that gives you that level of uniqueness, and if I could afford it, I would buy it, daily it, and keep it for as long as possible.
If you guys have any questions about the LC500, feel free to drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.